Hey legends, and welcome back to the least knowledgeable sim racing channel. Back in the late 90s, little teenage German would wake up on Sundays just to tune into the sports news segments. While most of it was pretty forgettable, one thing that always stayed with him was the sight of a bulbous blue Subaru flying through the air in any given part of the world that week, driven by one Colin McRae.
Into care, 6 left over, jump.
Those brief rally segments began a love affair not only with rally driving and motorsport, but with that model of car in particular. Imagine my surprise when, over 20 years later, I realized that an immaculately modeled version of the road-faring variants of this car now exists in Assetto Corsa. Having collected a great many road cars from my collection recently for another video, I absolutely had to give this thing, my favorite road car of all time, a go around my favorite racetrack of all time. I'll spare you the details on that because not only is my favorite racetrack highly predictable, but you've also been seeing it on your screen since the start of the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to be notified of future videos covering amazing AC mod content, but for now, let's get into it. Well, in regards to fun content, there are a few things more fun than me basically driving the idealized version of my road car on my favorite racetrack of all time. It may not have been the most winningest rally car of all time, but by golly was one of the most iconic and probably one of the best looking, arguably, but I think a lot of people might agree with me there. Anyway, what better way to test this thing than to do my very first Nordschleife lap with it? I don't really know what awaits me. I know cars with this level of performance, roughly the Skyline R32, the Supra, I know they're in the same ballpark, but I'm not really quite sure how this thing is going to go and whether it's going to give me that typical late 90s Subi understeer character. So let's try it out. Don't worry, I've turned the rain physics off, so it should still drive like it's a clear day. Whatever kind of a lap time that's going to result in, I don't know. This is my first run of this car through this track. I'm really excited. I just want to actually do it. Let's get our wipers on. Look at those rain effects. Like what R factor is to tire physics, this is to windshield rain physics. That's insane. Get our lights on, make sure that the marshals can see us. Rev our gorgeous flat 4 boxer engine and let's go. Oh yeah. This is what I've been waiting for. Driving my road car on the Nordschleife. Or at least the penultimate version of my road car in the Nordschleife. The real question is it going to have some of that characteristic late 90s Subi understeer? A little, sure, but not as much as I expected. Admittedly, I have ever so slightly dialed it in for more oversteer, and by ever so slightly, I of course mean dimed the front camber to be completely negative. It's so fun. The whole heel and toe game, the whole hate shifted driving that's going to be behind us before long, guys. It's the last generation of cars we're experiencing right now. It's going to probably even have a gearbox after we go electric. So we've got to enjoy it while we can. And man, am I enjoying myself. It's so good. It's fulfilling this morbid curiosity I've always had. Like, what if I took my road car to the Nordschleife? How could it potentially go? And I've got to say, they've kind of nailed the feeling of this thing. It feels very familiar, albeit with less understeer, believe it or not. The road car variant with the 4 doors is a very, very understeer beast. This, of course, makes sense. They've removed the ABS for this car. They've removed the radio. They've removed a ton of things to drop the weight down. It's only in the 1200 kilo range, just under 300 brake horsepower. I'm trying to work out if you downshift here or not, but guess not. And of course, you can go off-road, because it's a rally car. How good is that? And you can lock the tires, because you don't have ABS. And flat spot them. The things we all love. Might speed up the wipers a bit, actually. The water droplets, as nice as they look, they eventually get a little bit distracting. Getting a nice and cloudy day here at the Nordschleife. Conditions probably cooling down a little bit for me. Hoping the tires are still in the right operating range. It's smooth, it's easy to drive. I'm overdriving it ever so slightly, but it's kind of compelling me to do that, you know? It loves it. It loves being driven like this. And these things, of course, costing as much as a second-hand supercar does these days, believe it or not. Well over 100,000 Australian dollars. Would have been an amazing investment as a car collector. But I'll have to settle for the plebby four-door version. Like I believe Mr. Jimmer recently bought for himself. Us thoroughbred JDM boys. But I've got to say, you know, with how gorgeous Soul and CSP make Assetto Corsa look, is it time to reprise Jimmer's old How Fast Can It Do the Nordschleife series? That series which put his channel on the map and kind of made it what it is, essentially. I always loved it. I never missed an episode of that. It's my favorite racetrack. He would always bring down these zany, wacky cars, and sometimes my favorite JDMs as well. Oh no, Emin, no! 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 I mean, you can see that series played out with far worse driving on this channel now. It's great, isn't it? Oh no, that's cost me like a second. That's a very adventurous new line. It's very, very involving, this car, on certain sections of the track, because you're in between gears. You're constantly jumping between third and fourth. The feet are flying around on the pedals. I mean, it's a rally thing, you know. You can't complain. Being a rally fan, being forced to really do a bit of a pedal ballet. Yes, yes, bit over driving, but I never hurt anyone, right? Alright, can it do sector 2 in 5th gear? That is the most telling aspect of the torque of a motor. Yes, we're still climbing. We're in 5th, we're still climbing. I think we're hitting about 6k RPM, we're still on boost. That's the important thing. The moment you leave boost is the moment you have trouble in these cars. These ancient, laggy JDM beasts, which we love oh so much. I'm kind of tempted to put this one on the 100 entrant Nordschleife event we're doing this weekend. I don't see myself driving it. I don't want to be lapped all the time like I was last time. But, you know, it has its charm for those guys that want to explore this part of motoring history. Alright, brake nice and easy. Down to second. Yeah, you can really trail brake it around. You can really bring the rear end out. I'm not really sure if that's honest to the real car, but it feels really nice when you're driving it here in AC. And alright, what can we do here at the carousel? Oh man, can take it far, far more quickly than I expected. So it's really up in the high gears in second there. That's really impressive. Alright, coming into sector 3, the most involving, arguably most difficult part of the Nordschleife. Let's see what we can do. Really test the balance of a car as we go uphill and then promptly come back downhill. Always an interesting corner, this one. It really requires a lot out of the car balance because it's so off camber. And this too, of course, very exciting part, but man, this can go oh so wrong. Gotta make sure you grab the curb on the inside, grab this curb on the inside, and there we are. That is the JDM line. Slightly fused with the American line. And back to third. Keep it in. The car's very understeery in those kind of sections. It lacks the front downforce to do what it needs to do, what the GT3s would have it doing. Alright, let's see if we can do this in third. Keep it nice and neat through here. Extremely neat. Not a hint of oversteer on YouTube corner on the exit there. Gorgeous. Let's see if we can do this in third as well. Yep, third is the perfect gear for this section. Right over that curb as if it doesn't exist. With the clouds opening up, it looks absolutely gorgeous up in front of us. Almost ethereal, some might say. Oh yeah, just push it into that corner. Can be very aggressive with this car and just won't bite back. Very, very secure, early all-wheel drive system. As we do the slalom now, the Beloff S's. Straight over the curves, like it doesn't matter. I feel very secure in this car, I've got to say. Even as it squirrels on the braking there. Do this in third. No, we're not going to understeer out. It's just beautiful. It's just, I'm in the pocket. I feel comfortable. It feels good. It feels fast. It hooks into the hooks into the mini carousel beautifully, not a hint of oversteer on the exit. Very, very easy to drive car, love it. Now a lot of understeer here, I would wager. Yes, there might even be a candidate for a downshift there. Hard to say until we do more laps, which we of course will not do on this video. But yeah, on the final straight, finally. What an experience. I feel like this has just brought together so many of the things I love about motorsports. My favorite track in the world, my favorite road car in the world, one of my favorite looking cars in history. Absolutely gorgeous WRX. Let's see if we can, no, not TC, I don't want TC game. There we go. Trying to get a bit of that boxer note. Listen to that, that is gorgeous. Oh man, that's just where it's at. No, that beautiful air scoop. Alright, I'm gonna get back into the car before things get too bad here. Alright, so we'll keep it pinned a little bit more. Maybe I'll lift a touch for this. Maybe a touch on the brakes. And then down to fourth here. Keep it nice and easy. Down to third. Down to second. Get over the curb. Pretend we're a rally driver. Down to second again to really... Oh no. Understeer on power there mid-corner. Not what I needed. But what will it be? What will it be, guys? We're gonna head back to the pits and look at the time that we got. 8:19.7. Not quite as fast as I was expecting. I'm guessing some of the other JDMs are still quicker. Through the Nordschleife, I'm guessing they have a bit more top end, a bit more power. I was hoping something a bit in the lower 8s, I guess, but this is around about, I guess, what you would have expected from this car back in the day on this track. Man, that's super impressive. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm gonna have a link down below for this car if you haven't checked it out. If you're maybe younger and not familiar with what it is, it's a complete rally icon who got so many of my generation into motorsport. I'd highly recommend driving it, even just adding it to your collection because it's free. It's a gorgeous looking car. You can always pad out a car list with it, a track day with it, so highly recommended. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't, that's completely fine. Show me who's boss by disliking twice, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.